Hello there, Dr. Charles Kuruku here, the president of Unity Revival Movement. We are based here in Minneapolis and we are watching the trial of the officers involved in the death of George Floyd. It's unfolding right before our eyes. It is very imperative that the defense and the prosecutors have a tough case in front of them. First of all, I just want you to know something about criminal justice. The criminal justice system is going to look for evidence and proof beyond reasonable doubt that the officers truly were involved in the death of George Floyd, and they contributed to it either by being premeditative or being careless. This is a high threshold of evidence, and what it requires is that the jury would be able to make a verdict based on facts and not emotions or even social community pressure, which means that we could have surprises in that courtroom. It's a wild card judgment, and we will wait for the verdict with the bated breath, not knowing how that verdict will impact the reaction of the community. It could be a reaction that we least expect that could become very, very explosive. This is why I'm asking that you and I pursue a definition of justice that is not tied to what happens in the court of law, but it is tied in what God defines justice. And no matter how the outcome of whatever happens in court of law is, you and I are still going to remain black and white friends, brown, white, and black friends together, an agreement that God is just in all his ways, and the systems of this world are not going to redefine our definition of justice. Now listen, the verdict may be a surprise, but God's ways are not a surprise to us. They are clearly shown in the Bible. God says in his justice system, there is mercy. In his justice system, there is vindication, there is restitution, there is restoration, but there is also the punishment of sin. Now, with all that said, we don't know what will happen with the George Floyd case. We don't know if there will be a guilty verdict. We don't know if it will be a lesser sentence, or maybe it will end up being a very heavy-handed judgment. But here is the thing. In a criminal court, the prosecutors have a tougher job to prove that the person involved in the death was doing it intentionally. This may be a high threshold. Let's pray for peace and justice.